Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the biggest pop culture storm swirling around Disney's upcoming live-action Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler. From casting controversies to a bold satire courtesy of South Park, there's been no shortage of drama. Buckle up, because this story has everything: corporate panic, viral memes, canceled appearances, and even rumored legal threats. So, how did a beloved classic turn into Disney's latest PR nightmare? Let's break it down. The original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered in 1937, and, for decades, it's been revered as a groundbreaking classic, the first ever feature-length animated film from Walt Disney Studios. Fast forward to 2021, Disney announces they're remaking Snow White as a live-action movie. Excitement was high. After all, Disney had found success reimagining classics like Beauty and the Beast and The Jungle Book. Then, the casting announcement dropped. The new Snow White would be played by Rachel Zegler, hot off her critically acclaimed debut in West Side Story. Now, on paper, this sounds great. An award-winning young actress with serious vocal chops stepping into a legendary role. But, almost immediately, an intense backlash kicked off. Critics questioned the choice to cast a Latina actress as Snow White, a character literally described in the original fairy tale as having skin as white as snow. Meanwhile, longtime fans of the 1937 classic worried that the new movie would stray too far from the heart of the story. As the buzz built around Rachel Zegler, people started digging up her interviews, and that's when things got complicated. In multiple press junkets and red carpet chats, Zegler made it clear she was not a fan of the original Snow White. She called the prince a stalker and implied the story's emphasis on romantic love was outdated. She said essentially that the new film would revolve around a modern, empowered heroine who isn't dreaming of true love, but dreaming of power or leadership. Her honesty might have been refreshing for some, but for others, it came across as dismissive, even insulting, toward a beloved classic. Now, depending on your point of view, this was either a bold stance for a young actress or an unnecessary swipe at a film cherished by generations. Some supporters applauded her desire to shake things up for modern audiences. Others felt she was tearing down something she'd just been entrusted with. Tensions were brewing. The reaction online was intense. Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, every corner of the internet started arguing. Why cast someone who doesn't even seem to like the original story? Is this a brave update? Or is it Disney rewriting a classic for the sake of modern messaging? And for many fans, the criticism went beyond Zegler's personal opinions. They saw this as another example of Disney focusing on diversity for diversity's sake, rather than staying true to the core themes of their classic stories. You might think the drama would cap right there, just another day in internet discourse. But no, things got a lot more heated once South Park jumped into the mix, and South Park isn't known for pulling punches. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the duo behind South Park, have never shied away from controversy. Their recent special, dubbed the Panderverse, and the upcoming DEI special, took direct aim at Disney's trend of race-swapping characters, shoehorning social justice themes, and featuring an actress who seems to hate the source material. In other words, a shot right across the bow of the Snow White remake. South Park created an over-the-top caricature of Rachel Zegler, basically regurgitating her own real-life statements about the classic cartoon, except dialed up to 11. The cartoon version of Zegler rants about toxic nostalgia and reimagines the fairy tale into a preachy moral crusade. It's ridiculous, but it's also uncomfortably close to things she actually said in interviews. Once this South Park parody aired, social media exploded. Fans who were already skeptical of the new movie felt validated. Supporters of the remake were caught off guard. Memes came pouring in, side-by-side comparisons of real interview clips with South Park's comedic reenactments. The blow was so precise, it felt less like satire and more like a direct commentary on the entire fiasco. And remember, it's not just the fans who took notice. Disney and Rachel Zegler herself were forced to confront a PR nightmare. Suddenly, this wasn't just a casting controversy, it was a full-blown corporate crisis. Sources say the top brass at Disney went into emergency mode. Bob Iger, newly back at the helm as CEO, was already juggling a ton of issues: declining Disney Plus subscriptions, Marvel's box office flops, and expensive reshoots for various projects. The last thing they needed was a viral takedown of their flagship Princess reboot. Reports claim Disney told Zegler to zip it. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no more fueling the controversy. They even canceled her talk show appearances and potential red carpets, citing scheduling conflicts. But we all know that was code for, let's not make this worse. But the tension wasn't just external. Word is that Zegler was furious. She felt Disney had hung her out to dry after she tried to advocate for a modern interpretation of an old story. There are even whispers that her team considered legal action, claiming Disney had breached clauses in her contract that guaranteed promotional support and visibility. Meanwhile, rumors of friction with co-star Gal Gadot also emerged. Some say the tension on set was so thick it could be cut with a knife. Could be tabloid gossip. Could be real. Regardless, it's not a good look for a production already on thin ice. The more this saga played out, the more it highlighted a deeper cultural divide. On one hand, you have a generation insisting on inclusive storytelling, re-examining old tropes, and wanting princesses who don't just wait around for Prince Charming. On the other, you have fans who see these classic narratives as timeless and feel they're being dismantled for the sake of woke virtue signaling. This is about far more than just Rachel Zegler. It's about how Disney, a billion-dollar brand, handles the collision of nostalgia with modern ideals. They're trying to please everyone, young progressive audiences and longtime devotees, and that can be a losing battle if not handled with care. As of now, Snow White 2025 is still on track for release, though rumors of script changes, reshoots, and massive overhauls are swirling. The question remains, can the movie overcome this tidal wave of negative press? Even if they manage to deliver stunning visuals, top-tier acting, and a fresh angle on the story, will audiences show up after all this controversy? At this point, we're looking at a potential box office cautionary tale, especially if the film doesn't resonate with either the original fans or the new audience. If it's too woke, traditional fans might stay away. If it's not progressive enough, those who look to it for something new might be disappointed. Disney's in a real bind here. Just when you think it can't get any wilder, insiders say South Park might not be done. The show's creators are known for revisiting hot topics. If the next special features more jabs at Disney or Bob Iger himself, it could reignite the entire fiasco. Will Disney try to ignore the parody, or will they respond somehow? Historically, responding to South Park usually makes things worse. It's almost always best to let the comedic storm pass. But in an era of social media, that's easier said than done. So, where does that leave us? We've got a historically beloved fairy tale on one side, a modern actress with strong opinions on the other, and an entertainment giant scrambling to keep it all together. Snow White 2025 is shaping up to be one of Disney's most high-risk endeavors, right up there with some of Marvel's flops and the turbulence surrounding the streaming platform. What's fascinating is how quickly this escalated. One moment, fans were simply questioning casting choices. The next, South Park dropped a savage parody that turned the entire affair into a global trending topic. Rachel Zegler isn't just a rising star anymore, she's now a lightning rod for a broader conversation about how Hollywood balances nostalgia and progress, tradition and inclusivity. But hey, maybe this is all part of the evolving landscape of entertainment. Maybe Disney learns from this. Or maybe Snow White becomes yet another cautionary tale about messing with a beloved classic in the name of modern messaging. Either way, we haven't heard the last of it. Trust me, there are still months to go before the movie's release, and the internet has a short fuse and a long memory. What do you think? Will Disney pull off a last-minute PR miracle, or is the upcoming Snow White doomed to be overshadowed by this never-ending controversy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more pop culture news and Hollywood behind-the-scenes drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.